Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're doing another Swiss Oath of the Gatewatch Battle for Zendikar draft. Another quick reminder, check out the most recent Alex's Corner for a brand new weekly video podcast I'm going to be doing with Dennis from Windmill Slam. I'll have that displayed on the screen. Feel free to go to that link, and we need your help as the community for the episodes. Okay, we open Bearer of Silence, which I don't think I've actually played before. I've played against it a lot. I think it's a really good card. I like that it's a guy that it can't block, but a flyer that. So at worst, it's a Welkin turn in black, which is good. And at best, it makes him sack a creature. I think that's a good 2-for-1. I like Devouring Flames and Blinding Drone here too. But I'm going to start her off with the Bearer. Okay. Best follow-up pick. Flare Drone's a strong card. You got to be in black-red to make it work, but it feels like a good follow-up after Bearer of Silence. It's a strong card. Work Lyric's really good, too. I think either way, I'm not taking the Sky Scourer, so I could take the Drone. I feel like the Drone's probably the strongest card. Maybe make black-red aggressive if I can. Feels okay to me. Otherwise, it's like Work Lyric, which is good. But I think Flare Drone's probably better. I'm not sure on that. We'll go Drone. Alright, well, third pick, Immolating Glare. Immolating Glare is strong removal. Kind of surprised. I don't know what people took over that. Otherwise, Flame Seeker. There's Mind Melter in here too. I think Immolating Glare's got to get the pick here, though. It just seems like the best card. Okay. Flaying Tendrils. I like Sky Climber more than Scythe Master. In black, we have Chain Mage. Do I like Chain Mage more than Sky Climber? I feel like 4-drops are easier to get. Chain Mage is a nice staple of the black-white deck, though. There's also an Unknown Shores, which could help us maybe splash if I wanted to play these 3 colors. These 3 colors don't go best together, though, because white tends to be with the exception of like Displacer, pretty non-devoid. There's certainly some good playables in here. I like Sky Climber. Like I said, I think I like it more than Scythe Master. I'm going to take the Unknown Shores. I feel like all of those cards are probably replaceable, and just picking up Unknown Shores here seems fine to me. Okay, there's a Free Runner in red, which is okay. We could take the Scythe Master now. Path Warden's pretty good. Of all of the 3 cards I have, I think Immolating Glare is probably the best, which means maybe take a Scythe Master. I think Free Runner's got to be better than Scythe Master, though, for the most part. But, they're close enough where I'd probably just want to take the Scythe Master. It does feel like we're furthest away from playing Flare Drone right now. I'm going to take the Scythe Master. I like Summoner. Well, there's a Zada's Commando. 5th pick. Can take the Chain Mage now, which might just be the pick. Or I can take a Sky Climber, which is also good. So Chain Mage is going to be better if we make the black-white deck work. Sky Climber just basically continues to move towards white. Commando's very good. There's a 2-drop. I want to play the Bearer of Silence. Black-white. Yeah, black-white's pretty good. Can take the Chain Mage, like I said. That might just be okay. Alright, we'll take the Chain Mage. Wow, wait a second. 6th pick Blinding Drone? That's pretty surprising. I kind of want to just take the Allied Reinforcements. It's good with the cards we already have. It feeds cohort very well. So the only pick now that's regretful is Flare Drone over onto War Cleric, because it looks like War Cleric would look better right here, but Blinding Drone's very good. It just, my first blue card. Reinforcements is very good too. I'm going to take it. I like reinforcements. Okay, now there's Translator, which I guess works with Bearer of Silence. It's also just a fine card in general. It's also Searing Light, which I like, but I think probably like the Translator more. There's also Seer's Lantern and Wastes. I'm going to take the Translator. Found it to just be pretty good overall in the format. Alright, I think Null Caller's a fine card. There's also a Scion Summoner in here, which is probably better, but I'm going to take the Null Caller. It's certainly playable. Okay, I can take a second Unknown Shores. I'm also cool with that. Take the Resurgent. Splash Flare Drone, Splash Assault, neither of which are very good. I'm not going to play either of these, though. I guess I'll take Assault. Decent start. Okay, I'll take the rare. So it definitely seems like red's not open from that direction. We saw basically Flare Drone, Pyromancer's Assault, nothing else. Well, we saw, I guess, a free runner, but I think red was getting cut, it felt like. It did feel like white was flowing. You usually end up sharing white, and we saw enough black where I think we'll be able to make it work. So maybe we should just go for black-white. I guess if we open some bomb rare, I'm willing to do that. We have 2 Unknown Shores, so I can splash something, but chances are we're not going to splash for Assault, and even splashing for Flare Drone seems questionable. If I had like all colorless spells, I think splashing Flare Drone would make more sense. Mina and Den, I mean, it's okay. I can take Shoulder to Shoulder, is also Slaughter Drone. Likely to be less of a support deck, but Slaughter Drone doesn't exactly fit in with the ally theme. Whereas Shoulder to Shoulder, if we end up with enough cheap allies, can be very good. But I like Slaughter Drone. And even if you're not, you know, into the Devoid strategy, we have a couple Unknown Shores and a Translator. I think I'm taking the drone. I want to make sure we have enough cheap stuff. After that last sort of disaster deck, I want to make sure we've got enough cheap things we're doing. Okay, I can take Aeronaut. It's an ally. It works probably better than Wall of Resurgence for the most part. And there's a Holdout Settlement, but I think we're taking Aeronaut. So now we need either more cohort cards or just basically more ally synergies in general or more removal. So the black-white deck could come together, but we're still in need of some components. Right now we're only rocking Immolating Glare and Bearer of Silence, which are fine as removal spells, but I'm kind of looking for more. Okay, well, it's an Isolation Zone. It's also Baloth Null, which is a very strong card. But I think we're just going to slam the Isolation Zone. Needle Spires is a way to splash red, but... and Spatial Contortion's good, too. Still have a couple Unknown Shores and a Translator to make it work, but I'd rather have the Isolation Zone, just solid white removal. Grasp is a nice pickup. Okay. All right. Looking good. Another Flare Drone would have been cool. We'll take us... Actually, wow. Yeah, we're taking... I didn't even notice the glare. I was going to say we're taking a second Chain Mage, but... Definitely taking a second Immolating Glare. All right, well, now we're just loaded with removal, so... Deck in 3 consecutive picks made this deck way better. Wow. Spatial Contortion too. There's also Alpha Protector, but I think we actually can make Contortion work in here. Maybe even wheel a Waste. Taking it over Alpha Protector, which I don't have a problem with. Alright, so I can take Waste now, or I can take Shrieker. We can also, I guess we can play Black-White and not be... So the awkwardness of playing Black-White and not having an ally strategy is you're basically just relying on the removal, and then you need powerful creatures at that point. So Shrieker does count as a powerful removal spell, or creature spell rather, but it really does not interact positively alongside the white plan. Nor does it really interact all that well with Immolating Glare, since Immolating Glare wants him to attack, but Immolating Glare is still really strong. I don't think that matters. I'm going to take the Shrieker over the first wave, so I'm going to hope that we see one later. I think that's a fairly strong possibility. All right, I'll take the Envoy over the second Chain Mage. I guess none of these cards matter. Maybe hate the Stalking Drone. Could take Witness the End. It's playable. If I end up with like a Ruin Processor, I'll be happy I have it. Okay, I'll take the Waste over the Tar Snare probably. I think all the removal we have is going to end up being better, so let's just take the Waste. Alright, Step Glider's probably fine, although... Guess we don't have any +1/+1 counter stuff, do we? Okay, well, I'll take it anyway. Take a second Waste, although I'm not going to play Dazzling Reflection, so I guess that's okay. Corpse Churn is playable, though not very good in this deck, I don't think. Not a ton of incentive to play it. So I guess I'd prefer to not main deck that guy. Okay, Sharpshooter's an ally. Probably just take the disregard, though. There's a processor in here, too. We have Witness the End. And I guess that's it. Alright, I'll take the disregard. Maybe wheel Sharpshooter or processor, but this pack's not very deep, so I don't think that's going to happen. Painful Truths is pretty good, especially with the Unknown Shores. But Drana's Emissary is like a little bit too powerhouse in the strat. It's like exactly what these decks want. So we're going to take that. Even though we don't have much of an ally strategy, Drana's Emissary when you're in Black-White is just insane. It's just a very, very powerful card. Still looking like a 17-land deck at the moment. And we're not looking like a double Waste deck, even though we have Spatial Contortion, Bearer of Silence, and Slaughter Drone. I mean, the only card that requires it is Spatial Contortion. Ondu Rising is fine. It's not like a horribly exciting card, but it's probably the pick here. It's kind of a 6-drop, though, if you want to attack with it. But I probably like it more than Silent Skimmer, I guess. And there's just nothing else in here, so... Alright, we'll take it. I guess it works well with Step Glider. So we have like 12 creatures right now with allied reinforcements. Or I guess 13 with the Ondu Rising. Well, I love Vampiric Rites, but... in the low creature deck... I mean, we're not super low. We still could make it work. It is a good card. It's very good. I kind of want the Sheer Drop and just keep the removal.deck going, especially the versatility of Sheer Drop being both removal and creature. It's also Channeler, which is good. I think I like Sheer Drop more, though. Channeler's good, I guess, you know, for turning on your colorless stuff. I do like Vampiric Rites. Other people don't like Vampiric Rites as much as me, though, so it could wheel. There's still some stuff in this pack. We'll take the Sheer Drop, though. I like it a lot. Assassin with Drana's Emissary is a thing. But we're not really an ally deck too much. I might just want the Evasive guy. But if I'm going to do that, would I prefer the Courier Griffin? I probably want the curve to be lower. So I can get an Evasive guy down and leave up removal for later. I do like Courier Griffin, but I think we have enough 4-drops and we weren't on 17 lands. I'm going to take the Shadow Glider. I like Spawning Bed. Probably like it more than Cub. Cub's not great. It's okay. We're short on creatures. We only have 14. Could just take Spawning Bed, and then maybe not even run the waste. 2 Unknown Shores and a Spawning Bed. I mean, Spawning Bed's good. Is it great in this deck? Maybe not really. I guess it kind of turns on your colorless stuff, but it turns it on the top end anyway. It does give you something to do when you're getting flooded, which I like, but I mean, it's a powerful card. I think we're going to end up with enough playables, so I guess I'll take it over a Cub. Ooh, Brood Butcher's good. Is it worth splashing? It's pretty good. I have 3. I mean, I have only 2 ways to get green, which I guess isn't enough. But otherwise, I'm taking like Scour. I could take Tandem Tactics. Tactics is a good trick. I don't think Tactics is necessary in this deck with all this removal. We'll consider the Brood Butcher as a splash. I'm not sure if it's going to happen yet. Reap, Rampart. Our late game plan is only okay, which kind of makes the Rampart a little bit worse. I don't like Rampart as much in the removal decks, which we currently are. Only because it kind of feels like a waste of a slot. Like, I only want creatures that can kill my opponent or removal spells, sort of, if that makes sense. Probably don't need the Grave Birthing. I guess I'll take Rampart anyway in case I need it. Alright, I don't really need Kitesail Scout. I guess Eyeless Watcher can be good for certain decks. Alright, Demon's Grasp, keep the removal going. Could probably play it over Witness the end. Otherwise, I take Devastator, but I kind of don't like that in this deck. Anticipate's just good. I think we'll take that. Alright, as expected, we get the rights back. I think we're going to play it too. We have 15 creatures if you include Undo Rising and Sheer Drop, which I probably will. Although, maybe it's 14, I guess. Well, we'll see. I'm still taking rights. Oh, I guess it's... No, it's 15 even if I cut the Butcher. Splashing Butcher isn't free necessarily. I still feel like I'd probably want to end up... I mean, I can. It's the strongest creature in my deck, which kind of makes me want to run the Brood Butcher. I'm trying to think how free of a splash it is, though. It's certainly not free. We do have some color intensity. Would I still want to run... If I didn't run a Forest, and I'm just planning to play it off of Unknown Shores, it's really a 6-drop. Which is still fine. But it kind of feels like the obvious cut. I kind of want the card draw Vampiric Rite still. It's been good for me. But we can cut Vampiric Rites. Step Glider's a bit out of place too. It's basically an unexciting 5-drop in our deck. These are really like 6-drops most of the time, I think. So, and Allied Reinforcements is a creature. So really we have like 16 creatures right now if you include all this. Which means I can cut a creature. Could be the Step Glider. I don't think I have anything in the deck that gets value. Well, that's not true. I have Sheer Drop and Anu Rising that give value from Step Glider, but that's it. Otherwise, it's just basically a 5-mana 2/4 flying, which isn't that great. It's okay. I guess Brood Butcher is not that good in this deck if you don't have the green mana, is it? Because he's still... I guess Brood Butcher is probably not worth splashing. Even though you get 2 dudes and you can turn your dudes into removal spells, it kind of still wants you to be fairly heavy green. If you're only using it once a turn, still sacking creatures, it's probably not quite good enough. I think we're going to cut the Butcher. And then that way our mana base is presumably a lot better. I don't think we're going to run the wastes Like I said, the only card in the deck that requires it is Spatial Contortion. Otherwise, everything else, there's stuff that gets better with it. There's stuff that really wants it but doesn't need it. And the 3 sources plus the translator, I'm assuming, is enough. Other than that, we're like a removal deck with 15 creatures. I actually think this deck looks good. Double Immolating Glare, Bearer of Sounds, Grass, Spatial Contortion, Disregard, Isolation Zone, Demon's Grasp, Sheer Drop. We have a ton of removal. So the only weak... So the strengths of this deck are, I like our curve. I think our mana base is going to be probably fine because the colorless sources double as make our stuff more expensive, but it works as either color, which I think is fine. We only have 1 double color of each, which means we're probably just going to do it as even as possible, erring towards black. Well, I guess we don't get that luxury, but this is fine. Even if you count these as a half, which I feel like Unknown Shores are even more than half. Like Holdout Settlement you count as a half. Unknown Shores gets you, it just kind of is a little bit slower than you'd like. It's just Shimmering Grotto, essentially. But I think our mana base is actually going to end up fine. I don't think we need to run 18 lands at all either, like I said, because our curve is actually kind of nice. So I think the strengths of our deck are our mana base, our removal is top-notch. Some of the best removal I've had. Our synergy is very low. So we're a very low synergy deck, which in black-white especially can be a problem. And our bombiest creature is probably like Drana's Emissary, which is also not an exciting bomb creature. So we do have some flyers, though. We have Aeronaut, Bearer, Envoy, Emissary, Glider, and Step Glider. So we have a decent amount of evasion. Curve is good. Mana base is good. Synergy is very low. Bomminess is low. So I think that unfortunately still resigns this deck to C territory. But because our removal is so good, I'm going to give it a high C. So I'm going to give it a 77%. I like it. Kind of a cool little fun deck. I think this deck could definitely be successful. Not a stereotypical black-white deck. As I said before, very low synergy in that regard, but we ended up with certainly enough creatures. We've got some life gain. We have awesome removal. I think this deck could definitely be successful. So we're going to run it like this, and we'll see you round 1.